Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Brian, and I am, among other things, a gamer. And if there is one word I could use to describe the game we are talking about today, it would be glow up. And I know, that's 2 words, but still, today is all about glow-ups, and I'm not talking about Neville Longbottom here. No, I'm talking about character models. I'm talking environments. I'm talking storytelling. I'm talking the monumental leap from Half-Life to Half-Life 2. Goodbye low-poly rooms with your nearly invisible walkways. Goodbye simple character models that are used on repeat for the entire game, whose mouths move like a digital nutcracker. And hello, emotions? Detailed environments? Diverse characters in both allies and enemies? What? What am I even playing? Those mad scientists at Valve absolutely came in swinging with the follow-up to their breakout hit, and honestly, they kind of had to. They really did. You cannot follow up a literal game changer like Half-Life with a weak sequel. But I can honestly say, there is nothing weak about Half-Life 2. Now, last time we dove deep into the history of the game, the company, and the effect of both on gaming as a whole. But today, I just want to jump right into it. But before we do, be forewarned that I'm going to be giving away the whole game, every twist and turn. So I highly recommend playing the game yourself first, if you are at all interested in playing it. And then immediately come back here and watch this video. And also like it. And subscribe. Actually, everyone just like and subscribe. Just give me a like and a subscribe. If you are watching this video, just hit that button. Boop, boop, boop. And you'll get more of these videos. Without any further ado, let's hop into the gameplay of Half-Life 2 in a series I like to call Late to the Game. Let me just grab this guy. There, right there. The game begins not in a subterranean government facility in New Mexico, nor the alien world of Zen with its floating platforms and cloning factories, nor even the blackness of space, where last we saw Gordon leaping out into nothingness to accept his new position at Super Secret Shadowy Government Agency Incorporated. No, the game begins in a far more terrifying and exciting place. A former Soviet Union train station. Much like the opening of the original Half-Life, you are introduced to the world through a slow processional, peppered with details of the world in which you are going to spend the next however many hours of gameplay. It also really showcases just how far the character design and world building has come since the first in the series. It has been 20 years since the events of Black Mesa, and the world has changed. It seems that the events of what they would call the 7-hour war, aka the first game, led to the downfall of the entire planet, which now finds itself under the fascist control of the Combine Empire, a multi-dimensional conquering force that seems intent on ruling the multiverse, which frankly sounds exhausting. As you walk through the station, you are surrounded by broadcasts of Dr. Wallace Breen, this guy, your former boss at Black Mesa and the current human collaborator with the Combine, who gives real Wizard of Oz vibes. You know, if the man behind the curtain was also facilitating a bloody takeover of the planet. You proceed through security, you get flagged by the security camera, and one of the guards separates you from the group and forces you into interrogation. He kicks out the other guard and turns off the camera to prepare for what can only be assumed will be a brutal interrogation, only to reveal himself to be Barney Calhoun, who I definitely recognize.
Cameras.
Did
I'm
I?
working undercover with civil protection.
If you can believe it, this rugged freedom fighter is the guard from Black Mesa. You know, this guy right here. That's the same guy. Those are the same guy. Anyway, Barney hops on a FaceTime with yet another survivor of Black Mesa who has aged remarkably well, Dr. Isaac Kleiner. Doc Brown over here is in the midst of an experiment working with Alyx, which anyone familiar with the series knows that Alyx is the eponymous character of the next game in the series, aptly named Half-Life Alyx. See, I pay attention, and I do my research. I know what the next game's called. Dr. Kleiner asks you to join him in the lab, and just as you're about to head over, the guards come banging on the door, so you're forced to find a way to the lab on your own. You hurry out the back door and nonchalantly make your way through the building, stopping for a moment to do your civic duty. Okay. Okay. Is that an achievement? You make your way out of the train station onto the streets of City 17, getting your first glimpse of the mighty Citadel at the heart of the city, an ominous skyscraper reaching into the clouds that you just know that that's where you're going. You just know that that is where the game will end up eventually. You walk past armed patrols, through abandoned playgrounds, and into the neighborhoods you go, discovering along the way just how interactive everything in the environment is. Truly, it feels like you can grab, pull, or throw just about everything you can see. You enter into one of the apartment buildings where the Combine forces are in the midst of raids. You hide with some innocent citizens and make yourself at home. As you sneak through the building, you get made by the guards and are forced to flee, making your way across the rooftops until you get trapped by Combine soldiers. But unlike the original, you don't just wake up in a trash compactor, you get rescued by Alyx Vance in that classic meet cute, where he gets knocked out by fascist soldiers and she takes them all out with hand-to-hand combat. You know, it's cute. They're very cute together, these two. You can tell. They're cute. Wow, jeez. She did all that? What? Alyx is the daughter of Eli Vance, yet another of the scientists from Black Mesa, specifically this guy. They really went out of their way to make sure that they brought all the old players back for the first game, even though none of them had names, and they all look very different. But it is unified to the first game. It's a through line. Don't you worry about it. Anyway, Alyx leads you down to the sublevel through a secret door where you are reunited with Dr. Kleiner, Barney, and Lamar, Dr. Kleiner's pet, I guess?
Never fear, Gordon. She's de-beaked and completely harmless. The worst she might do is attempt to couple with your head fruitlessly.
As you try not to think too much about Lamar attempting to couple with your head, Barney returns to you your HEV suit that has been kept in some sort of airtight batsuit storage chamber for 20 years. With your suit on, you head over to the newly completed teleporter, where Eli Vance joins via video from the Black Mesa East facility. Alyx, like Sam Beckett, steps into their homemade quantum leap accelerator and vanishes. Well, first some technical difficulties, but after some janky plugs are plugged and switches switched, she vanishes. And she reappears at her father's side, having successfully teleported. Now it's your turn. You step in, you rise up, and just as Barney is flipping the switch, Lamar busts through an air vent and all hell breaks loose. Oh no! Oh no, oh no! Ah! You start getting teleported all over the place. You're in Eli's lab, Dr. Breen's office, you know, the bad guy, the depths of hell. And back to the lab. Well, almost back to the lab. Actually, about 3 feet outside the lab. Barney pops his head out to let you know that the whole city is now on high alert, probably because Dr. Breen just got a visit from his own personal version of the boogeyman in the form of Gordon Freeman. So you are now going to have to take the long way to Black Mesa East. AKA no teleporter, you take in the old-fashioned way via the old canals. Oh, they're just leaving me here. Great. Great. But first, he tosses you this beauty. That's right. Like Thor's hammer, your crowbar has found its way back to you, ready to defeat all foes, boxes, and small pieces of wood that get in your way. Side note, this is also when I realized there was going to be music in this game, a massive improvement from the first game, and truly a relief to me. Oh, we got music. Oh, thank God. As you jam your way through the train yard, chased by combine drones, avoiding trains and scaling fences, you finally get to take your first literal swing at combat. One thing I really love in this game is that every time you kill a combine soldier, their little heart monitor flatlines. Wow. It's a relatively subtle feature that makes total sense in-world, but also prevents you from ever second-guessing whether or not you took someone out. Between that and the battle music fading out to signify the end of a fight, you really get to know when a battle is done, and that is something I really appreciate in a game. It's not uncommon now, but I really think they nailed it. You fight your way through the different levels of the train yard, taking out whole squads and avoiding oncoming trains, until you eventually reach your first contacts in the Underground Railroad. And in a shocking twist, it's not just humans, it's Vortigaunts. And they talk!
Good thing you found us. You're not the first to come through here by...
This is the Freeman. The Combine's reckoning has come.
Oh.
Look, we're just a lookout for the Underground Railroad. Main station's right around the corner. They'll get you started on the right foot. Meanwhile, let my Vortigaunt friend here give you a jolt to get you going.
A jolt? Oh, no, 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 no. No, no. Oh.
Be careful now. We really can't afford to get noticed.
Thank you. So I guess we're friends now, though I can tell you I will not be forgetting the endless deaths I faced at the lightning hands of Vortigaunts in the entirety of Half-Life 1. You continue through tunnels and sewers as the Combine descends upon the Underground Railroad. And it's in these sewers we also get our first glimpse of the alien creatures that lie ahead. Look who's back! Those ceiling ton barnacle things, ready to pull you up to your doom or barf up some items depending on whether or not you see them in time. Yeah! After barnacle-infested tunnels, swimming below exploding barrels, dodging underwater bullets, you reach the seesaw. Though it may not look like much, this simple piece of plywood, along with its cinder blocks, was a groundbreaking achievement in gaming physics. That you could counterbalance your weight with the blocks, and the board would give out if there wasn't enough weight, was truly revolutionary. And you can see by the sheer wonder on my face just how impressed and awe-inspired I was by this technical achievement. And after that excitement, you are reminded that this is indeed a Half-Life game, as you are once again faced with the aerial superiority of an attack helicopter. Now, before we continue, there's something I need to address. I owe all of you an apology. You see, something you should know about me is I grew up with consoles. We had the original Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, and eventually I had an Xbox 360, a PS3, and on and on. And because of this misspent youth of console gaming, I have always identified myself as a controller gamer. And I know that I should not have played through all of Half-Life 1 with a controller. I know that it was a defining leap forward in mouse and keyboard gameplay, since it was one, if not the first major game to use WASD instead of the arrow keys. I've seen the comments. I've heard your pleas. I've let you down. So please forgive me for my blasphemy, and rest assured that from this point forward, I will be using mouse and keyboard and will reserve the controller for games that were built for it. Or if my wrist hurts, or if, I'm playing on the couch or whatever. Now back to the game. With your movement and accuracy heightened by the superiority of mouse and keyboard, you fight your way through the rest of the tunnels, being introduced to new enemies like the man-hacks, an aptly named variation of the Combine drones where the equipped blade of death will hack a man to bits if he lets it get too close. And these guys are everywhere. Tunnel after tunnel, above ground and below, they will not leave you alone. Even when soldiers are shooting at you, you still have these little guys buzzing around your head. Every so often, you have a moment of peace. Like when you're trying and failing to Skyrim your way up a pipe, to turn a valve, to raise the water or whatever. And if it isn't drones with blades attached to their heads, it's the headcrab shells, a diabolical innovation from the Combine where they shell an area with what look like bombs, but instead of exploding, they release headcrabs to attack, kill, and then convert the dead into zombies. It's very clever. It's genius. And due to this shelling, you find yourself in Station 6 of the Underground Railroad, completely overrun with headcrabs and zombies. You fight your way through to the airboat, a vehicle that may look like it is held together by duct tape and wishful thinking, because it is. But get her out on the open water and baby, you're cruising. And thus begins the long ride to Black Mesa East, a journey full of attack helicopters, random valves to turn, shootouts, and depth charges. Periodically, a door or wall will get into your way, and you have to hop out and fight your way over to the wrench or contraption or whatever to open it. Along the route, you make a pit stop to meet a few resistance fighters, including this one Vortigaunt holding this rather large gun. Is that a gun? Can I have it? They give you a quick rundown of how far you have to go to get to Eli, but more importantly, the Vortigaunt is kind enough to attach the gun to the front of your airboat, turning what was already a joy into a downright thrill. I am a sucker for a vehicle in a game, so I was loving it. Ooh, airboat show. More shootouts and exploding barrels and helicopters and just general goofiness as you continue your aquatic journey. It's a very exciting and cinematic section of the game, or at least it should be if you're not like me, someone who will completely miss the route forward and do circles around a small bay as I take literally 5 minutes to find the path forward. Oof. We're just gonna do loops. He is good old circles. Yee. But you do eventually find the way forward and face off against the Hunter Chopper, and I find the game completely, totally making up for my disastrous glitch in the first Half-Life, where the helicopter just glitched out of existence and I just quietly climbed up the mountain. Oh my god! Every time. In a wide open lake, it is just you and the helicopter in a battle straight out of James Bond. You're just blasting this thing out of the sky. It is so good. Afterwards, you take a quick detour to hop into a drain spout of radioactive waste just to pay a visit to a little Easter egg of a Vortigaunt cooking up some lunch in his own private cave. You toss all his belongings onto the fire and make your way back out to the airboat. That's just a normal part of the game. Trust me, everyone does it. More boating, more shooting, more doors to open, a brief glimpse of the G-Man. Is that guy? Is that guy? He's gone. Eventually, you make it to your destination, Black Mesa East, where you finally make it to Eli's lab, the place you should have teleported to instantly, hours ago. Not that I'm complaining. Like, for real, I'm not complaining. I love the boat stuff. The boat stuff's great. I'm glad they kept it. I'm glad the teleporter broke. I'm just saying I'm not complaining. Why do you think I'm complaining? I'm not. I liked the boat. Jeez, get off my back. You're greeted by security cameras and laser beams, and then Dr. Judith Mossman introduces herself. She is yet another scientist, this time not from Black Mesa, but I think that's only because it was all dudes in the first game. But anyway, she's been working with Dr. Vance and Alyx. She brings you down to the lab, and for the first time you meet Dr. Vance in person. Well, I say the first time, but we knew him in the first game, even though it didn't seem like him in the first game, and also he looks slightly different. He seems to be the only one who aged, and also he's missing a leg. Having escaped Black Mesa mostly unscathed, he's been working alongside the Resistance on all sorts of science-y future tech, like the zero-point energy field manipulator. It's a bit of a mouthful, so we'll just go with gravity gun. And this is where the game truly starts to show off. Was the seesaw impressive? No, I mean, like, kind of if you know what it is, but I didn't really appreciate the gravity of the moment, pun intended. But now all of those things I was interacting with by walking over and picking it up, giving it a light toss, now they're available from 50 feet away before being blasted at Mach 5 at anything you want. And I may say that the crowbar is an icon of gaming history, but this is truly one of the most enjoyable weapons in any game I've ever played. And just as you are getting to know the best weapon in the series, they also introduce the best character in the series, Dog, a massive robot gorilla bear dog thing that's just as cuddly as you want him to be. And just like that, you've reached the end of the game. You play fetch with Dog for a while, a few hours of basketball, and that's it. Thanks so much for watching my video. Give me a like and a subscribe. Turn on that bell. Join me for the next video. Oh man, the Combine showed up. Oh jeez. I guess we gotta keep fighting this interdimensional war. Shoot! Jeez. Having been rudely interrupted by Combine scanners, you rush back inside as headcrab shells rain down on Black Mesa East. You immediately get separated from Alyx and are forced to go down the Ravenholm Tunnel. That's right. I said the Ravenholm Tunnel. A route that not 5 minutes ago Alyx said, "We don't go to Ravenholm."
That's the old passage to Ravenholm. We don't go there anymore.
That's exactly how she said it. That's exactly how she said it. You come out of the tunnel and enter into the horror movie vibes of Ravenholm. This town is straight out of Silent Hill or Resident Evil. In a series filled with zombies and monsters, this is the first time it's actually felt like a zombie horror game. And as much as I love the incongruent juxtaposition of decaying alien zombies in bright corporate hallways and liminal spaces, sometimes you want those classic spooky vibes. Sometimes you want a Scooby-Doo, you know what I mean? And Ravenholm is all about those spooky vibes. You work your way through a haunted house where, once again, a gift from the gaming gods in the form of saw blades that you can launch with a gravity gun to split zombies in half in just the most satisfying way possible. Oh, that's sick. Yeah! Oh! Yeah! That is so good. What did it? Yeah! The town itself is like a plague village in the Middle Ages. It had survived, hidden and untouched by the interdimensional invasion, until one day they were discovered by the Combine, shelled to hell with headcrabs, turning every living person into a zombie. So what was once a quiet, safe village is now endless zombies and headcrabs and nightmare fuel. But as you move deeper into the village, you start noticing traps set out. Traps like this one, and this one. The trick is you just need to avoid walking into them yourself, which I was very good at.
Aww. Now I am sad.
Turns out these traps have all been laid out by the sole surviving resident of Ravenholm, a mad Russian priest named Father Grigori, who offers to watch over you as best he can, both literally and metaphorically.
I'll keep my eye on you.
Okay.
More than that, I cannot promise.
2 eyes when I can spare them.
As you try to find your way up to him, you face more zombies, blowing them and yourself up with all the many exploding barrels and canisters lying around, periodically hearing the howls of Lord knows what unholy beasts roam the night. I'm sure we're never gonna have to deal with whatever that thing is. But then the game says, "Hey Brian, I know you're having a great time. You've had some jump scares. That's great. But nothing too scary. What do you think about spiders?"
Oh my god! Oh my god! No!
Oh, are you not a fan? Well, great. Because here's a new headcrab that looks and moves like a spider. Also, it's bigger than the regular ones. Oh, and it's also poisonous, so have fun with that. So, yeah, my utter disdain for spiders or spider-like creatures is used against me as a new headcrab variant just entered the arena. And not just these poison guys, but fast headcrabs, and their faster, much more terrifying zombie variant.
I'm sure that's nothing. Oh my god!
Well, I guess I know what's been howling this whole time. Now it's not just slow, lumbering zombies and creeping headcrabs, but also poisonous spider crabs and these leaping chimpanzee-like sprinting zombie things. But Father Grigori, ever the generous man, gives you a shotgun that honestly makes pretty quick work of them. Though, to be honest, I still prefer the gravity gun, even if I do blow myself up repeatedly.
Oh my god! No, it's gone. Oh, spiders!
Also, adding to the list of creatures I don't like are these guys who carry a bunch of spider crabs all over their back and just chuck them your way, you know? I don't like it. I don't like spiders, and I don't like these. Anyway, you work your way through every dark street, corner, and alleyway, clearing out every monster in your path, shooting them, blowing them up, using traps, launching giant blades of death at whole groups of them. It's a great time. Like I said, Ravenholm slaps. It's great. It's a great part of the game. And all of this reaches a crescendo as you reach the final rooftop and pull the lever to have the slowest gondola ride imaginable to join Father Grigori. And in the 20 hours that it takes for the gondola to cross the 10 feet between buildings, you have to hold off a horde of fast zombies shimmying their way up the drain spouts in a fight that may not be the most challenging, since all you gotta do is head to one spout and blam, and through the other spout, blam, back to the first spout, blam. But it's definitely a memorable moment. It's very cool. You've made it across and are finally within smooching distance of Father Grigori. Hey. And he leads you through the final section of this Resident Evil level, which of course has to end in a cemetery. If it didn't end in a cemetery, what was even the point? What was the point of all of this? You had to be in the cemetery. And once again, the cinematic nature of this whole section, it's beautiful. Beautiful. And they were kind enough to leave saw blades all over the place, so you can stick with the tried and true method of line them up and chop them down. We're chopping, we're blasting, we're blowing them up and lighting the whole place on fire while Father Grigori is shouting Bible verses or something, seeming to have the time of his life, which is good because, I'm sorry, Father Grigori doesn't make it. But he died as he lived, blowing the faces off of zombies with his shotgun. But there's no time to mourn. Down you go into the tunnels through some old mine shaft or something, and like an old prospector digging for gold, your biggest concern is, of course, dozens and dozens of poisonous spider, alien, headcrab things that patrol the tunnels. Well, them and also the spinning blades of death strapped haphazardly to the top of minecarts that roll up and down tunnels, killing everything in their path.
Here we go. Whack!
Once out of the tunnel of doom, you are magically transported back to the future. Gone are the medieval European village / Scooby-Doo / abandoned mineshaft vibes. It's dawn, and you're at another train station, and there are snipers with laser sights shooting at you. It is quite the tonal shift, if you ask me. You get through the gauntlet of snipers and make it to Shore Point Base, a resistance base where you are welcomed with terrible news. Alyx Vance has been taken by the Combine forces to the prison of Nova Prospect. Dun, dun, dun! So I guess we got to go rescue him. Which means we're traveling again. Instead of by boat, this time you've got a sweet, sweet ride. This dune buggy that's just begging to be set out on the open road. But, of course, no route in Half-Life is without its hazards, and this one is filled with these massive sand flea murder bugs called antlions. They burrow into the sand and pop up all over the place, and much like the sandworms of Dune, or even the sandworms of Tremors, they are attracted to vibrations. I say sandworms, but graboids? Graboids is what they call them in Tremors. Honestly, an A-plus monster name and an A-plus movie. Do yourself a favor and go watch Tremors, a young Kevin Bacon in a B-horror movie. It's kind of funny, but also, like, I guess kind of scary. But, yeah, Tremors. Tremors, go check out Tremors. There's like 20 of them. The first one is the good one. The rest are, like, good in that they're terrible. But, anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, Half-Life. Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2, that's where we are. Antlions. Yeah. So you're driving across beaches, shooting antlions, stopping in little towns, fighting Combine forces. You get a rocket launcher, which is great. Does a hell of a number on these Combine helicopter plane thingies. Yeah, it's hard to tell if their vehicles are built or grown or both. I don't know. And I don't care. I'm just here to blow them up. Honestly, there's a lot of similarities between this section and the earlier part with the boat. Not that it's a bad thing, just it's, a lot of driving, stopping to fight, driving some more. Your buggy gets stuck and you have to fight your way over to a crane to magnet it out or whatever. Thin on story, heavy on action. I don't mind it. But eventually you reach this bridge that is blocked by force fields. You cross underneath it, passing by lots of ammo and rockets that foreshadow a battle to come.
So many rockets. I'm not using any.
But you pretty much cross without any fuss and turn off the force field. And surprise, 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 surprise! Got a huge fight full of soldiers and helicopters to get back to the other side of the bridge. But these guys, they're a piece of cake. Jumping across gaps, however, not so much. But you take out the chopper and carefully, very carefully, inch your way back across the broken bridge. You fight your way back to the car and drive across the bridge at full speed, just narrowly missing the oncoming train. Or, if you're like me, you fat finger the exit vehicle button and let the train plow right into your dune buggy. But then, upon your second try, you drive across the bridge at full speed, just narrowly missing the oncoming train. More driving, more gates to open, more battles with random resistance outposts. It's not a bad part of the game by any means. It's just a lot of the same stuff that we've already done. Driving and fighting and fighting and driving and driving and fighting and fighting and driving. Though the lighthouse stuff is pretty cool. Yeah, I like the lighthouse.
Yeah, dramatic.
After this, you lose the buggy and you enter antlion territory. Remember how I said they respond to vibration? You know, like tremors? Remember when I was talking about Tremors? The Kevin Bacon movie? You know, Tremors. You better not have forgotten, because I told you it's great and you should watch it. I told you that. Anyway, this is the Tremors section, as you climb over rocks and avoid touching the sand or causing any vibrations. And don't even think about swimming around the beach.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm not swimming.
Eventually, you work your way to the final beach, where you are greeted by a massive rhino antlion beast thing that tries to ram you with its giant beak. But you make quick work of him too. Then this Vortigaunt runs out and does some psychic surgery or something on it and removes these little hacky sack, bug bait pods out of it, like, don't think about it too hard is my point, because you are going to carry these around for the rest of the game. He trains you how to use them, and it's super simple. You toss them at an enemy or whatever, they burst and the antlions attack, or just move to where you want them. And then you just squeeze them sharply to get the antlions to follow, which, yeah, you squeeze them. You squeeze them.
I'm squeezing.
Am I doing it wrong?
Chat, any ideas?
Okay. You just hit the right. You just hit the right mouse button instead of the left. Yeah, I totally figured that out on my own, and didn't need to text my cousin to join me in chat to tell me what to do. This is an embarrassing part of my stream, but it is very brave of me to share it with you. Anyway, with your newfound ability to control the antlions, you storm the beaches of Nova Prospect, the prison where they're holding Eli. You may be one man, but your endless army of antlions are unbeatable. It's like storming the beaches of Normandy, except instead of the Allied forces, it's a single bespectacled science man directing swarms of alien bugs to attack using a softball-sized alien food sack. When I put it that way, it's kind of exactly like Normandy. And like some sort of alien Pied Piper, you lead the swarm army all the way into the walls of the prison. And with a final epic battle against prison guards and multiple helicopters, you finally breach Nova Prospect. And alas, it is this moment that we must say goodbye to our new antlion friends. Actually, you immediately get them back. Like, as soon as you go inside, they just couldn't walk through that area or whatever. And while they take care of the guards inside the prison, you pull a reverse Shawshank and work your way through the sewers and into the cells of the prison. And just like Andy Dufresne, there's some trouble in the showers.
They're rocketing. Nope, missed. Yes, suck it on that.
If only Andy had a rocket launcher, it would have been a very different movie. Floor by floor, hallway by hallway, you and your bugs clear the prison. Between the antlions and your newfound sentry turret friends, you absolutely rip through this prison. You even get to see the Combine fight their own antlion charger, the big beak guy, though soon after you're greeted by yet a third in this teeny tiny little prison. And now a brief break from the fighting as Alyx shows up somehow to drop some exposition. Specifically, she hops on this alien computer and orders up Eli, who's brought over in a Monsters Inc.-style death pod conveyor belt. And you know what? Despite the gravity of the situation, Eli feels pretty unbothered.
Dad, are you all right?
I'm fine, but you've got to get out of here. Get out while you can.
We're not leaving here without you. That's final.
Something about his tone.
Can't leave Judith here either.
Don't worry, Dad. We'll find her.
He has the tone of a guy whose truck got stuck in the driveway, not someone currently being suspended in air by a robotic arm after having been confined in a metal tube for the last couple of days by murderous, fascist, interdimensional soldiers. Despite Eli's nonchalance, you continue with the rescue mission. He's been swept off to God knows where, so back you go into the prison to find some other way to him, I guess. What's nice is this leads to a great fight in the guard post where you get to use sentry turrets and cameras to defend yourself as creatively as you'd like. The second you wrap that fight up, Alyx literally drops in for another exposition dump. And in an extremely dramatic twist, you learn that Dr. Mossman was a spy the whole time! You caught her! You caught her in the act, talking to Dr. Breen! It's shocking! You know, you're shocked. I'm shocked. It's shocked. Are you not shocked? It's Dr. Mossman. You know this lady from earlier. We talked to her for like 12 seconds. No? Well, at least you can understand the gravity of her talking to Dr. Breen, you know. You know Dr. Breen, this guy? From the screens at the beginning? Also, we teleported into his office for like 2 seconds. No? Jeez, come on, people. How can you not understand the gravity of this situation? I was shocked. Shocked, I say. Anyway, you move on from the twist of the century down to the cell block floor where you have the final dramatic battle of Nova Prospect. A very unique battle as they give you a handful of turrets and the guards come wave after wave such that you're mostly maintaining the turrets more than shooting. It's kind of like a Half-Life tower defense game. It's very fun. And then as you escape the prison, you get this sweet tunnel scene. I mean, look at it. This game just got cool.
And yep. Oh god, there's too many of them.
And now we are finally out of prison. Back into the future tech sci-fi world. And well. Look who we have here. The traitor. Oh, sure, she denies it, but we all know. We know she's a spy. We saw her talking to Dr. Breen. Alyx isn't hearing any of it, so she tells Dr. Mossman to call up the Eli pod, and he shows up without a care in the world.
Sorry we took so long. I hope that wasn't too bad for you.
Don't worry about me, sweetheart.
Tone is so good.
Set you free.
I wish I had Eli's level of chill. He is so funny. And I'll be honest, Eli is literally the only character I care about in this entire game. I love him. Everyone else, they're fine. They're fine. They're just kind of like, typical characters. But Eli, he's got a special place in my heart. But you don't get long with him because Dr. Mossman pulls the old Kansas City shuffle on you.
Oh no. Defense. Defense. Defense.
No, stop!
What are they doing? What did she just do?
I'm sorry, Alyx. It's the only... No! Get back! What's going on, Dad?
What's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah, she gets you pretty good. She gets you pretty good. She seals herself in the teleporter with Eli, and the two vanish, presumably heading to the Citadel. You know, the big tower at the middle of the city where the big bad evil guy has his office. You know, the place I told you, the place I said we'd probably go. That's, spoiler alert, that's where we're going. Quickly, Alyx gets the teleporter reset, and the two of you get out of there just as a whole mess of Combine forces bust in. You don't follow Dr. Mossman and Eli directly. Instead, you go all the way back to the beginning of the game to Dr. Kleiner's lab. And of course, Dr. Kleiner, your old friend and colleague, greets you warmly with Lamar and a shotgun. Apparently confused as to how you got there, and more importantly, when you got there. It has apparently been a full week since you stepped into the teleporter at Nova Prospect, even though it only felt like a few seconds ago. The teleporter exploded, blowing up Nova Prospect, and there is now a full-blown assault taking place as the Resistance has begun the uprising. Eli, meanwhile, has been stuck in the Citadel as a prisoner, presumably in that pod, just hanging out. A lot's been going on, apparently, but hey, Dog is here, so, that's good at least. Apparently, Barney and his Resistance fighters are poised to enter the Citadel, so you and Dog head out to find him, fighting your way through the chaotic streets of City 17. Well, I say it's you and Dog, but like 2 seconds after you leave the lab, Dog jumps on a Combine helicopter and is swept away. No! Oh, man. Damn it, Dog. Why can't we hang out? I just want to be with Dog. Is that so wrong? So it's really just you. And just like the fighting to get to Nova Prospect, the journey across City 17 is resistance battle after resistance battle. You have a little squad of your own that you can direct around, but mostly I use them as cannon fodder and extra health whenever I needed it.
Suppressing fire, squad, go! You got it. You got it. I believe in you. Oh no! The health lady! The one I didn't want to die.
Combine forces, zombies, even toxic sludge stand between you and Barney, and all of them do their darndest to take you out. For real, though, Half-Life 1 was a death fest. I was dying every minute and a half. It was crazy. It was very punishing. This game's been great. Great. Barely dying. Until this point. From this point forward, my total number of deaths grows exponentially. From the moment I leave the lab through the end of the game, I am just struggling. That being said, they do a pretty good job through this whole section of changing the scenery as much as they can. Tunnels and hallways, daylight outdoors, flashlight lit hallways. It's a good amount of variety, even if it is just, shoot some soldiers, shoot some zombies, shoot more soldiers, even more soldiers, yeah, a lot of soldiers. Eventually you reach a crossroad where you can see the Citadel. It's right in front of you. But Alyx, who joined you in your fight, does her best Assassin's Creed impression, climbing just right up the side of this building to the roof, where immediately she gets pinned down. It's A+ work, Alyx. You're very helpful. Very, very helpful. Now I got to pause again. Literally, as I got to this point, my chat filled with people telling me that they had just rolled out the anniversary update and I had to stop midstream to update it. Like I just happened to be playing the day they rolled it out. So if there is anything before now where you were thinking, I thought they fixed this, it's because I was playing the old version. And if there's anything from this point forward where you're like, I thought that looked different, well, it's because I updated it. The point is, I updated the game at this point. So if things look weird, it's because of that. Don't at me in the comments. Once again, on your own, you find a subterranean route to Barney and his friends. But you find him pinned down by snipers. So you casually make your way over to him, Wile E. Coyote style. The old filing cabinet strat gets him every time. Snipers hate it when you know this trick. Anyway, you work your way over, toss some well-placed grenades, and snipers are gone.
Yes.
Having now rescued Barney, you meet up with some of his friends and you storm the Citadel, fighting your way past the guards outside to face even more inside, along with booby traps and sentry turrets that come out of the floor, all of which making turning off all the force fields pretty difficult, especially when your crack squad of resistance fighters lack any situational awareness whatsoever.
Oh my god.
She stands right next to it as it gets blown up.
You make it to the roof and fight off some more helicopters. They're a challenge, but it's not so bad. My hatred of helicopters has waned over the course of the game. It's nothing like the battle that you can see below, where those three-legged War of the World monsters are fighting everybody. Like, thank God we don't have to go down there and fight. So now you go down there and fight. And this battle is tough. This battle's tough. I don't like the tripods. They are tough. They are hard. I died a lot. Like I died like Half-Life 1 level of dying. It was rough. So rough. It was so rough that at one point I was like, I guess you can't kill the tripods. I guess that just isn't possible. I'll try to run around them. They cannot be killed. But they can be killed. It just takes all the rockets. Like, all the rockets. You gotta die 1,000 times and you gotta shoot 1,000 rockets. That's just the reality of the battle. Just over and over and over and over and over and over and over until you finally, inch by inch, make your way out of this absolute nightmare of a battle.
You're dead. You're dead.
But fortunately, you escape the tripods and the nightmare's over. Except, no it isn't. We're back with another damn battle with the tripods. And this one, instead of being out in the open, you are trapped in this multi-level maze of blown-up rubble. And it's not just the tripods, but the damn helicopters. And I don't like helicopters again. This whole part of the game, I struggled. Here's them taking me out 5 times in less than a minute.
Thanks for keeping me alive while I... This is such a flow. And then something blew up that I didn't see. I think that's what happened. And now I don't... Oh, is it that? Something blew up back here. No? No, this is just back where I was. Just back where I was. Do I just need to kill these things? I'll try. Not like that.
But, in the end, you prevail.
Yeah!
And then after that, it's smooth sailing into the Citadel, albeit with a little help from Dog. That's right, Dog's back, but just for a second, just to say hi. And at long last, you are now in the Citadel, the place you've known you were heading from 5 minutes into the game. You know, it's kind of like the Death Star, what with its bottomless pits, blank walls, and lack of safety rails, but also some Monsters Inc. because, you know, it's got these things running around all over the place. So yeah, a Death Star Monsters Inc. Darth Mike Wazowski. And as you're walking along this catwalk, you watch them blast the Monsters Inc. death tubes with lightning bolts like some sort of massive alien dishwasher, which honestly makes sense if you're keeping people in those pods for weeks on end. I'm sure they're rank. Also, despite having just watched them blasting the tubes, you better believe I stepped right into the first one I saw.
Seems like a good idea. What could go wrong? Cheat.
Yep, I saw it coming, and I did it.
I don't think that was it.
I did it anyway. Get over it. Anyway, if you fight the urge to get into the death pods for even just 1 second, you see that there's a whole other route that does not blast you with electricity. So instead you get into the non-death pod, which is far less fun.
Oh, there's this side. It's just one of 2 routes.
And now you're just along for the ride. Through the massive Citadel you ride, like some bizarro version of Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean. In a way, this is kind of a reverse of Half-Life 1, where the game opens on a train ride through Black Mesa. This one finishes with a pod ride through the Combine Citadel. But then suddenly, you're mysteriously released and dropped into this holding area where these magnetic lightning things take all your weapons away and blast them into nothingness. Even the crowbar. But just as it's about to vaporize your gravity gun, it malfunctions and instead gives you, hands down, the best weapon in the game. I know I said the gravity gun was iconic, and I made it seem like it was just the vanilla gravity gun, which is fantastic. But you get the upgraded gravity gun, and it can now just vaporize enemies. It can vaporize them in a single blast. And not only that, the lightning will chain through a group of people if they're standing next to each other. And on top of that, if it could not get any better, the actual gravity part of the gravity gun doesn't just pick up small objects, it picks up full-blown soldiers and then just shoots them right at their friends. It is so good. You are unstoppable, making you the monster the Combine have believed you to be for the last 20 years. Gordon Freeman's escape from Black Mesa is a thing of legend in the Half-Life universe. To the Combine and the Vortigaunts alike, he was this monster, and anyone who faces you now will witness that legend come to life. You are a god of destruction and chaos.
Chaos! 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 Chaos!
This is how you end a game. That right there, this is how you end a game. I thought it was going to be the tripod thing, and I was ready to be furious. I was ready to be like, well, had to end on the grueling battle. No, this is it. This is so much better. This is so much better. It's a gift. It's a gift for all the work you put into getting here. I mean, look at me. Look at how much fun I'm having. Look at the joy. Look at the joy on my face. Just for a moment, remember the end of the first game. Remember the giant baby floating in that room, that low gravity, low poly awfulness. And here we are, a gift. I love it. I love it, love it. But as incredible as this section is, the true chef's kiss cherry on top of a marvelous game, all good things must come to an end. And another death pod beckons you in. And this one takes you on your own VIP route up to the top floor, giving you this fantastic view of the sunset over City 17. But then you get to the top, and tragedy strikes. They confiscate your gravity gun. Dr. Mossman, that traitor, guides you into the den of the beast, a.k.a. Dr. Breen's office, where he already has Eli hanging from his own death pod. He monologues for a bit, classic villain stuff. Meanwhile, you and Eli just have to sit there and listen.
You're more than qualified to finish his research yourself.
Move towards the fireplace.
Neither you
Then to up the villain factor even higher, he reveals he also has Alyx. Dun, dun, dun. Then in another shocking twist, Dr. Mossman betrays Dr. Breen. Whoa! What a twist! Breen, in a moment of panic, grabs the gravity gun, tries to shoot her with it, but it explodes. The whole room explodes. But fortunately, at that particular moment, every character has exploding room protection, and literally nobody has a scratch on them. We all get up, dust ourselves off, and agree that Dr. Mossman has totally redeemed herself. You chase down Breen, who is talking to this giant alien slug thing. I don't know.
Human man. There's another human man behind you.
He slips away, but you get your gravity gun back. Another twist! Breen, meanwhile, goes and turns on the dark fusion reactor so that he can teleport away to fight you another day. Very, very villain-esque. But he's not getting away that easily. But first, one last romantic goodbye to Alyx.
Be careful.
I know. Oh, wait, shit. You were supposed to say I love you. Ah, damn.
Was there romance? Was there romance between them? Did I miss that? I don't know. This feels a little forced. Then it's back to chaos mode, baby, as you mow through the last of the Citadel guards, reaching the reactor core at the very top of the tower. And not to brag or anything, and I'm not sure how long this part is supposed to take, blowing up the reactor to stop Breen, but as you can see, I did it in less than 30 seconds. So, I'm very, very good. Very, very good at video games. But yeah, you blow it up.
this whole citadel. Think, man.
Yeah!
People below.
Oh, and also, Alyx got here somehow. I guess we had a romantic goodbye for nothing. When suddenly, the reactor explodes. And just as the concussive force of the reactor reaches you, time grinds to a halt. And the ghostly apparition of the G-Man appears before you to once again monologue at you about his mysterious employers. And that's right, this is the end of the game. That is how they chose to end the game. With you and Alyx presumably mid-dying? Like, it's crazy. It is crazy that is the end of the game.
Is that it? Did I do it?
Thoughts. What are my thoughts on this game? Well, I can tell you they're pretty simple. It's great. This is a great game. This is a really, really, really strong game. Even in 2025, even whenever you watch this in the distant future, this is a great game. I am impressed with all the technical improvements, but more than that, I'm impressed with the storytelling, because the first game is pretty thin on plot. There's a lot of world building, but there's not so much in terms of things that actually happen in the game. You go to here, you go to there, you go to there, you go to there. You know, it is interesting. It is good all the way up until that last little bit in the alien land, you know? I felt a little bit at the start like all the characters were kind of shoehorned in from the first game, but eventually you care at least about Alyx and Eli Vance. You know, the Mossman Breen, I'm a traitor, never mind, I'm not a traitor, I unbetray you, you know, felt a little melodrama-esque. In terms of gameplay, when the game first came out, I remember watching my brother play it on the airboat, with the airboat level. And honest to God, for the last few decades, I thought that was most of the game. I thought the whole game was you just kind of like jetting around on the airboat, which I would have been fine with. I enjoyed the airboat stuff. But no, I really enjoyed those elements. The Raven home, oh, it was so good. The horror, like, you know, abandoned town spooky thing, loved it. Absolutely loved it. That was great. Going full God mode chaos at the end was so fun. The ending was far more in keeping with the rest of the game than the ending of Half-Life 1, which kind of was like, oh, also there's a psychic giant alien baby floating in the alien realm. You must go destroy its brain, which, you know, kind of came out of left field. This one was like, hey, evil fascist dictator man, betrayer of humanity. He's up there. You get there, you blow him up. That's how you do it. That's the Half-Life way. One of the things I have to talk about, because I hammered it home at the end of the last video, and boy, did they improve on it. It is the difficulty of the game. It is how punishing it is. Now, the first one, I died 236 times. 236 times, which is too many times. I was dying constantly. And the worst part about it was the autosave points were pretty far back. Like they were pretty there were pretty big gaps in the autosaves in the first Half-Life. So there were a lot of points where I had to replay 5 minutes, 6, 10 minutes of the game before I could get back to the save point. Half-Life 2, on the other hand, did a great job of focusing on immersion in the story, so the difficulty was not as punishing. I only died 60 times, which is still a decent amount of deaths in a game. Many of them were my own fault. Many of them, I just blew it. But the nice thing was the save points, the quick saves, were constant. So every time I died, I just kind of backed up a very small amount of time. So I didn't feel like, okay, I got to remember where that guy is, then that guy, then that guy, and go over here. Oh man, I have to get all the way back up there. I think there were only a couple points where I went back further than I would have preferred. But overall, the game far less brutal, far more immersive. It moves smoothly, other than those tripod battles that were just the worst. They were just too hard. I wasn't very good at them, but that's okay. It's my fault more than the game's fault. And of course, I know any fans of the game, you're probably sitting there at home right now saying, Brian, you're not done. You're not done. There's more. There's more to Half-Life 2. And I know. I haven't mentioned it up until this point, but there are 2 expansions, Episode 1 and Episode 2, that came out just a few years after the main game. And I have played those. I will review those. Those are the next videos. So definitely give me a subscribe if you want to watch that video, which will be the follow-up of the last 2 bits of the game, which is great because this ending was very cliffhangery. I'm thinking about the ending of Episode 2 right now. Anyway, overall, it's a great game. Would I recommend that you play it? Absolutely. Does it hold up? Yes, it does. As someone who never played it, has no nostalgia to it whatsoever, this game is great. It's great today, as great as it was when it came out. So I highly recommend it. And I cannot wait to play Half-Life Alyx because VR is my jam. I love it. I love it, and I want to share it with you. And I hope that you want to watch. I look forward to walking you through more of these games. Let me know in the comments if you prefer this style, a little less of the background, a little more of just pure gameplay. If you have any suggestions of other games that you think I should play, any series or one-offs, individual games, I'm all ears. I'm all ears, and I hope to see you on my next video and all my videos to come. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you like me. Check out my Twitch. Follow me on Instagram and all the other socials. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.